faith in. Can it be your faith? Can it be your faith in? it be your faith? Can it be your faith in? Can it be your faith? Can it be your faith in? Can it be your faith? Can it be your faith in?
So, one, don't know what happened there. Let's just call that a malfunction. All right. So, the intro was supposed to play, but it didn't show up. It just didn't show up. God knows. I actually edited my intro. So, what we're going to do, since this is a stream anyway, this is a Twitch stream anyway, I can just run it back. This not going to be on YouTube. So, y'all just getting blooper reels at this point. Yeah, Christ J is correct. You say you saw a bit of it? What are we analyzing? We'll get to the topics. But what's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to episode 5 of the show. We have technical difficulties, of course. We're still, I don't even know if we're in the experimental phase of this whole thing now. I guess this is just a thing in general. So it's nice to see y'all again. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys enjoyed the collabs first and foremost. How'd you guys enjoy the collab with me and O'Hara last time? Obviously, you saw the videos on YouTube. You know, I will announce the next guest on the show coming up. So stay tuned for that. I'll announce that at the end of the stream. And yeah, them Black Clover fans, honestly, at this point, I just don't know. Black Clover stands, they really are. They're very, very strange creatures. I don't know why they get so butthurt at the smallest thing. I'm just like, for me, I just want to know like who hurt them dearly. Like who was the one that did that to them? Because I just don't understand. And yeah, I saw spoilers are out, so I'm not gonna check it out. So I'm gonna be safe. Long story short, I'll be safe. A Mugen collab would be really cool. A Mugen collab is happening. I wanted that to be a surprise. That's gonna happen. We'll see. Well, I'll have other people with me. We'll obviously be commentating. High key, you know, the man I planned on being the first to join me in this stream was with the man in the chat, my Haney Cool brother. So you know, there's a surprise. You know, Virgo, I wasn't gonna tell you. I was gonna ring you in. You know, you gonna be my co-commentator on the next Tournament of Power. So it's gonna be Bleach. So I know you love Bleach. So the next Tournament of Power was supposed to be Bleach. Obviously, I'm supposed to put out the poll, but you know, there you go. But before we get into even the topics in the first place, yeah, we'll still talk about he said, was I gonna inform you? No, I wasn't gonna inform you, nigga. No. Yeah, but the Vocal Pineapple versus Roger stuff was, oh my goodness, that was a weird ordeal in itself. That was just a weird ordeal in itself. I don't know how I feel about that personally. Again, it's probably best to just keep my topics to myself. Keep my thoughts to myself in that regard. It was a bit corny. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Vocal was pretty corny. That's just my personal opinion, but I'll just leave it at that. You know, bait is bait, bro. As someone who is a bait master, I love baiting people in general. You know, I just feel like probably should try and calm down, my boy. Like, just settle down a little bit. Yo, what's up, Del Hospital? How you doing? What's up? So yeah, we just chilling. Is that Kaido's legs? The big baller? So you guys also missed the Mugen stream as well. The One Piece Tournament of Power. As you guys should know if you were there, Big Mom absolutely murdered everybody. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. Big Mom annihilated everybody. I'm like, what is happening? I couldn't understand. I just couldn't. Big Mom is like Ikoku sovereignty, bro. That's it. It was literally just Ikoku sovereignty and the Inshallah, nigga. That's it. Nothing else. Roger sold the fight. Roger definitely sold the fight. You know who sold the fight? Kaido sold the fight. Kaido didn't even want to fight. He just stand there and took it. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't. For you guys who missed the Mugen stream, man, I feel bad for y'all. It was on a Saturday. You know, if you were in my Discord, you would have got the alerts because I did let you guys know exactly when it would have happened. You know, Mugen is hilarious. People lost money. Kaido's legs was Jeff Bezos. King of Indies had major bread. Like, everybody was making bread. So, she did put the do-rag on. The thing with and then, obviously, man, there was the Katakuri arc. As soon as Katakuri took his shirt off, bro, he just started folding. Yo, the grilled mochis, bro. Oh, my goodness. That is just hilarious. He said zero money at the end of the day. Some people just went broke. Some niggas just went broke. I felt bad for y'all. I really do. So that's what I'm saying. Like, at this point, bro, we're just running more Mugen streams. The plan is to have multiple anime series come up for the Mugen stream. So once we have Champions of Bleach, Champions of Hunter x Hunter, plus Yu Yu Hakusho, because you need to combine those two, Champions of One Punch Man, Naruto, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about, we do have MHA, Dragon Ball Z, obviously. We put them all together, we have a giant Tournament of Power. So that's going to be it. So we're going to have a lot more of those streams. If you want the announcements, you either follow me on Twitter when I say I'm streaming, turn notifications on if you have to, or just look at the announcements in Discord. I'm not going to waste your time with stupid announcements. You'll know when I get a video out, or you'll know when I'm streaming on Twitch. That's what the announcements are for. So make sure you have those on, because those are when I'll be streaming. Sometimes I even let you guys know ahead of time. You said you lost your baby mama's paycheck on the JD stream? Hey, bro, that's you. That's on you, brother. You should have been more responsible with your money, brother. So before I get started on the topics, because I only have 2 topics for you guys today. The show's a little late. You know, my editor, he was on vacation. He's back now. So I want to get a show in first, get 2 topics out, 2 discussion videos. Then we'll be back to regular scheduled programming on Sunday after the official chapter drops. We'll be back in rhythm when we get 3 discussion videos on YouTube, just to let you guys know. So there's only 2 topics today, and then maybe I'll just sit around and kick it with y'all. We might even game. We'll see. We'll see. But first, since y'all here, let's see if I can actually get this opening to work so you can see the actual additional pieces that I added to it. Because the opening wasn't complete before. Now it is. Vor is not my editor anymore. So, but Vor is still my boy. I still hit up Vor here and there. Let me see if this works.
Can it be your faith in
All right, so that's why. So we got the end of it. So it's the same thing. Yeah, you got a little bit of it. So what I'll do is we'll run it back flat, and then we'll go back to the whole thing. We'll go to the whole thing. This is a preview for you guys. You're seeing it. He said you have an issue with the white hand. I need you to settle down.
Can it be your faith in
Don't listen to Virgo about the white hand. It is what it is. All right. Don't listen. I don't understand. It's just a regular computer hand. Okay. He said the white hand gotta go. See, now y'all just like to ruin everything. That's what I'm seeing. Y'all just like to ruin everything. Y'all just like to ruin everything. You should flip the card for the transition. We could. There's always room for improvement. Is Giannis still a fraud? No. JD Blanco, we're not doing that. Giannis is not a fraud anymore. JD Vitiligo. This is why we can't have nice things here. This is why we can't have nice things. You turn something nice and you ruin it. This is why I hate y'all. Y'all ruin my life. You like to ruin my day. What's up, Dark General? How you doing? He said Ben Simmons, on the other hand, he's a fraud. The white hand belongs to the editor. Sure, let's go with that. Can we get a stream with the guys on NBA Finals? It's possible. We'll see. We'll see that for sure. Am I smoking the Simmons pack? We never stopped smoking the Simmons pack. We never did. We always fried off the Simmons pack. We never not fried. Fried out of my mind. Now what is happening here? Okay. Oh, the draft lotteries today. I even forgot about that. Ben Simmons needs a new career. No, Ben Simmons needs to go to the Guangdong Tigers. Ni hao. That's where he needs to go. His place is in China. He needs to start learning Chinese. That's what he needs to start doing. He needs to start looking at the Shanghai Sharks, the Guangdong Tigers, the Beijing Badgers. You know what I'm saying? He got to start looking at those teams. Hell, he could look in Lithuania. He could play in Bangladesh. He's not good enough to play in the European leagues. Who do you think is stronger between Shanks and Mihawk, and by how much? These are all topics that I would like to address in future videos. Ni hao. He played with Cole in Africa. Yeah, Ben Simmons, I think he could thrive in Rwanda. I think they won't foul him. Then again, they might still just foul him anyway. He said, Ben Simmons, you scoring 4 points, but we all fouling out. Oh, the Beijing Ducks. Excuse me. Sorry. I just tried to match the letter with the name. You know what I'm saying? That's what we just tried to do. the stormtroopers. The Kyoto Kitsunes. That's Japan. Oh, you playing Japanese basketball now? Yo, nah. RDC World's Doc Rivers had me screaming. I just couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't. Why didn't the Marines feed Kaido another devil fruit? God knows. Why didn't they just throw him in the water? There's got to be a reason for that. Would I rank Yamato in my top 30? I can't answer that question right now. I've barely seen anything from her. Or from Yamato. I've barely seen anything from Yamato, so I can't answer that question. What's the chance of a road poneglyph to pinpoint stars, islands? Whoa, what is this? What is all that? What's the chance for road poneglyphs to pinpoint stars, asteroids, and not islands? When they will reach lodestar, they will pinpoint the stars and then find the direction. I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I feel like that's just a little too far. I'm not watching the draft. What happened? I mean, I love My Hero. My Hero's great. My Hero's been excellent lately. What's happening with the draft? Before I start the topic, because I'm going to talk about this. What happened about the draft? I guess if nothing happened, then I'm going to go back. You know what? I've lost track. I've lost control of the stream. Anywho, let's get started. Law's backstory is Oda's best work. Now, I know me saying that might trigger a reaction because we have the Nolan flashback, we have Enies Lobby, we have Marineford, and a lot of people would say that's Oda's best work. And again, some people might not even say Law's backstory is the best backstory in One Piece because we have the Robin backstory, we have Sanji's backstory. One could argue Law's is the saddest backstory, but then again, people would bring up Robin, Sanji, Nami. We have a lot of great backstories in One Piece. I think that's actually one of Oda's greatest skills is his backstories. His backstories rarely miss, unfortunately, unlike Jiren from Dragon Ball Z. But we won't get there. So the reason I say Law's backstory is Oda's greatest work, because it really made us feel something that we had never felt before. And I'll explain. So with the backstories that we normally see, there's normally a structure to them. If you've noticed, there's always a savior. There's always an innocence that the younger subject has in the moment. So with Robin, she loved history. She would go to the professors with O'Hara and she would learn about the world history. She loved archaeology. She would wonder about her mom. With Sanji, he was a peaceful kid. He was very kind. He liked to learn how to cook. And then obviously, next off, they're subjected to society. They're subjected to the dark parts of the world. Robin has the Buster Call happen to her in O'Hara. Robin is abused because she has a devil fruit and they just fear her for no reason. Children bully her. Sanji is abused by his family. Nami runs into fishermen and loses Belmere. So Oda has this track record of making backstories where there's a savior, like Jaguar, D-Sol, and Zeph, and God, what's his name? Genjo. I think the guy that is staying with Nojiko and Nami, the guy who took care of them, right? The Pinwheel Man. But with Law's case, it's a little different. The difference is that there was a specific savior that we loved more than anyone else, and that was Corazon. Corazon is arguably one of the most popular backstory characters that we've had up to date. Why is that? Because when you look at Law's situation is a little bit different than Robin's and Sanji's and Nami's. Law's backstory and his ailment was terminal. Law had a terminal illness. Law's fate was supposed to be decided. So it felt final. It felt like Law's hope had been lost. So if we get into the backstory, you'll understand what I'm saying, because this is why I would say Oda really went to another level with Law's backstory. So picture Law's life. When he started off as a young kid, he was a doctor. Well, not a doctor. His parents were doctors. He was training to be a doctor. He loved the nuns that were around, the little kids in the orphanage that were around. He loved his sister. Everything was nice and sweet. Law was a nice, innocent man. Boy. And then we move on to the ailment that started to stricken the people of where he came from. I don't remember. I think it was like Emerald City. I'm trying to remember where that came from. And long story short, you had the world government destroy where Law had come from. It killed his family, he killed the kids, it killed the orphanage, it killed his sister, ruined everything, all over a specific disease that they had no cure for. Ironically, Law's parents were doctors. They died due to a medical disease. So they've moved away. Now Law is alone, and he has an ailment that has sentenced him to death, and he runs into Doflamingo of all people, and he just wants to kill everybody in the world. So we relate to Law in a way where we're like, okay, everything's hopeless. Robin, at least she gets to fight to survive. With Law, all he has is death. He has nothing left. And he's taken in by Doflamingo, and all he wants to do is kill people. So Law's outlook is hopeless. Sanji, at least he had Zeph. At least he got saved. Law had no hope. So then we run into Corazon. He never spoke. Why did he never speak? We didn't understand until we learned it was his devil fruit. And then Corazon took an interest into Law. And we're thinking, oh, this guy Corazon, he's kind of interesting. And then we get the first reveal of why Doflamingo hates the D, and that there's a conflict between those of the Celestial Dragons and the D. So now, the D, pause. So now we're at this point. And Corazon is like, I'm going to save this boy. I'm going to save this boy who has this hopeless look in his eye. This boy who has no meaning in life. And Corazon goes above and beyond. He goes to different islands. He goes to different places. He's a secret agent for the world government, well, not for the world government, for the Marines, for Sengoku. So he's doing everything in his power outside of his jurisdiction to save this boy. Law has no idea why he's doing this. Law doesn't understand why he's doing this. But we felt a connection with Corazon. That I love you from Corazon was different. That I love you from Corazon resonated with us in a way that made him one of our favorite characters in a backstory ever. Now, you have people like Norland, you have people like Zeph, and you have people like Clover, and you also have Jaguar D. Saul. But with Corazon, there was more to it. His relationship with Doflamingo, the way he died, the way he sacrificed himself for Law, the way he quieted Law's screams as he was shot right in front of the treasure chest that he was sitting in. The fact that the devil fruit that meant Law would be cured and he would be able to live out his dream as a doctor as he initially planned before everything happened to his country, to his city, to his family, to the orphanage. Oda tied that all together. So we have the connection of Law's beginning as an innocent child wanting to be a doctor. We have him meeting Corazon, who healed Law's heart. The fact that Corazon means heart, love, sympathy, that's no mistake. Law's heart needed to be healed, and Corazon was the one to do that. He went above and beyond. Corazon was the only one in Law's life to show him care in the dark world that he'd been exposed to as a child. And as we know with children, when they go through trauma, it's almost exemplified even more than before because they don't know how to behave. They don't know how to react. So of course when he runs into Doflamingo, of course when he runs into Treble, all he wants to do is just make everybody suffer. Very similar to what happened to Doflamingo. So for Corazon to be the one who was tied to Doflamingo, who went through everything with Doflamingo, he went through everything that Doflamingo did, but Corazon maintained his purity. Doflamingo went the other side. He thought, this is the chance for me to save Law. This is a chance for me to bring some good into his life because I see my brother in him. And the irony of the man that he could not save, his brother, to kill him in an attempt to save someone who reminded him of his brother is poetic. It hit different. And again, one might argue Robin went through 20 years of suffering, running away, trying to survive all on her own. But then again, my point is the terminal nature of Law's ailment is what made it different to me. Robin still had a chance. She still had hope based on Jaguar D. Saul's words. Aokiji let her go. I'm going to find someone. I'm going to keep surviving. Law had no idea of any survival. The only way it happened was through a magical fruit that granted him the ability to be the doctor that he always wanted to be. To me, that backstory is one of the best things that Oda has ever written. To me, that is the reason why Law is the way he is today. Because if you look at Law and look at the things that he went through, he's cunning, he's very smart, meticulous, he comes off as very protected, he has a wall up, but at the same time, you can tell he cares. Look at his interactions with Beppo. You can tell when he was at Dressrosa, we saw all the emotions of Law. Law is shielded because of everything that he went through, but his heart is still protected by Corazon. And Corazon has a greater presence than any other backstory character, I would argue, in the series, bar none. And it shows. Who doesn't love Corazon? We love Zeph, but do we love Zeph more than Corazon? Do we love Jaguar D. Saul more than Corazon? Do we love Usopp's mom more than Corazon? Do we love Belmir? All great characters, all wonderful characters. Do we love Norland more than Corazon? Law's backstory gave us two things. It gave us one of the best characters we have in One Piece, which is Law. It gave us one of the backstories, one of the best and saddest backstories we've had in One Piece. One of the most emotional moments that we've ever received. Two of them. The I love you, I was crying. When I watched that scene, you watch it in the anime, you read it in the manga, you can't tell me you didn't feel something for that because you knew what it meant to Law. You knew. Their combative relationship all the way throughout. Corazon crying on Law's behalf at how hopeless his situation was. Oda pulling on the heartstrings, letting us know his life, everywhere he goes, he's denied. It went all over the place, all over the seas. And Corazon kept fighting for Law out of love, compassion. It's not ironic that his name, his code name, obviously his name is Rocinante, but it's not ironic that his name mirrors everything that he put back into Law's life. The love, the sympathy, the kindness that Law had lost. Corazon gave it all back to him. And then, just to reiterate, the sacrifice of staying alive long enough for Law's cries not to be heard after he got shot right in front of him, to stay alive just long enough for Law to escape. The ultimate sacrifice. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. To me, in terms of emotions and heartstrings being tugged, the I Want to Live moment was awesome. And it's probably one of the most, one of the greatest moments in One Piece that sent chills down your spine. But in terms of raw, pure emotion, gut-wrenching, crying, I don't think there's a moment that will ever match Corazon staying alive just enough for Law to run away from Doflamingo. And then when he passes away, you hear the wails and screams of Law. After everything Law had just gone through with society. Corazon is the one that saved Law and gave us the Trafalgar D Law that we see today. The Law that's part of the Straw Hat Alliance. If it wasn't for Corazon, we would not have got Oda's best work. So, I know some people might disagree with this because Robin's backstory is impactful. Now, I'm talking to you guys now because the topic's over. You know, we had a rough start, but we found a rhythm. Now, a lot of people, I want to know your thoughts because I know some of you guys are going to have arguments against the Law backstory. So what are you guys' thoughts? Do you still put Robin's backstory over Law's in terms of sadness, in terms of emotion, in terms of pulling on the heartstrings? How do you guys feel? He said he put, so what did Mord say? What are you guys saying? I'm inclined to agree. I need a rewatch. I think you need a rewatch. Fisher Tiger is an interesting one, but I don't think Fisher Tiger was as emotional as emotional as Law's backstory. And I think Corazon, in terms of what Corazon did for Law specifically, I don't know, man. I'm still taking Corazon over all of them. And that's just my opinion. Robin's is better. Top 5, me's Law, Robin. Brooks, a very sad backstory. Fisher Tiger. Law backstory over Robin. Saul. I don't connect with Corazon, to be honest. So why don't you connect with Corazon? See, I agree with that. Robin for plot. I agree with that. Law for pure emotion. So I want to know. So why don't you guys connect? So Professor Clover, why is he over Corazon? In your opinion, why? What did you... He said he didn't like Law's backstory because it apparently copies Nami and Chopper's backstories. How? I mean, Dr. Hilaluk and Corazon, I can see that, but again, I'm not vibing with that because again, it's the nature of Law's ailment. Chopper's ailment wasn't final. Chopper wasn't destined to die. Hilaluk saved Chopper's heart, but Law's life was literally had an expiration date and nobody in the world had an answer to it. So I disagree that it's a copy. I disagree because they're completely different circumstances. And I also mentioned this. The One Piece backstories, they all have the same structure. There's always a savior. There's always the innocence beforehand. There's the exposure to the world. And then there's the savior. So to say that is to say that every Straw Hat's backstory that has a savior is similar to everyone else's. I disagree. Nami's backstory is painful. Me either he comes off as a dunce in over his head. I think my problem with Corazon is that Dressrosa was draining me of love. See, that's fair. Which is why if you go back and see it, and you just, because to me, when I was reading Dressrosa, I was able to isolate Law's backstory. That was my favorite part of Dressrosa, was Law's backstory. I think that might have been the best part of Dressrosa, actually, was Law's backstory. Hiluluk had a disease that couldn't be cured, yes, but we're talking about Law here. We're talking about Law. Corazon, that's different. Matter of fact, Chopper was the one who accidentally poisoned Hiluluk. Again, he didn't mean to do it, but they're not the same backstory. Do you see what I'm saying? It's lazy. That's lazy. They're not the same backstory. They're not. Clover literally inspired Robin to want to learn about the Void Century. Yes, I understand that. But Corazon literally gave Law life. I don't think you guys are understanding what I said. Law was given life, emotionally and literally physically given life by Corazon. So for you to say that Clover had a greater impact than Corazon, I disagree immensely. Clover was an inspiration to Robin. Corazon was a parent to Law. That's a parent relationship. Clover and Robin didn't have a father-daughter relationship. Robin admired Clovis and loved Clover. Wasn't a parent? I disagree. I don't think so. Zeph is alive, isn't? Yes, Zeph's still alive. He gave Law. Absolutely. If anything, you could argue that Saul's relationship with Robin was stronger, I would say. Clover definitely didn't. Clover definitely didn't. Clover was a very... Oh, no! And that's the thing. Clover's not a bad character. Clover's great. Clover's great. But this is why I mentioned Jaguar D. Saul as the character. Zeph 8 is like... That's what I'm saying. Zeph, again, great. Zeph saved Sanji's life as well. If anything, I would understand you being more combative over Zeph than Corazon. Not Clover. Clover's not the one. Zeph has, yes, you have a legitimate debate with Zeph. A legitimate one. A tier list for Straw Hat's backstories in the future. I actually plan on doing that. I plan on doing that video. I do. Fisher Tigers, what is the mission? Because Fisher Tiger is also very interesting. Fisher Tiger's death hit harder than Corazon. That is very subjective, so I won't say you're wrong. But I felt more for Corazon's death for its impact on Law than I did Fisher Tiger. Did Fisher Tiger fight 2 admirals? Did Fisher Tiger fight 2 admirals? Oh, am I crazy? With Robin, yes, Clover was important, but I cared about all the historians. Exactly, Raph. That's what I'm trying to say. I can never mess with Corazon for snitching on Dofi after Dofi accepted him back into his family with no questions and made him his right-hand man. See, here's where... Oh, God. I don't... See, that, to me, that doesn't make any sense at all. It just doesn't make any sense. You're in a pirate world. Corazon, Doflamingo was going to destroy this world. Matter of fact, the reason Corazon even joined back with Dofi was because he was already working with Sengoku. Is that not the case? I don't understand. There's always 2 admirals at Mary Jo. We learned this after the time skip, so yes. No, bro, that's headcanon. That's not true. That's headcanon. That's headcanon. Fisher Tiger fought 2 admirals. That is headcanon. That's not real. That's not fact. That's what I'm saying. Fisher Tiger, like the last words for Fisher Tiger was different. You don't snitch on the family? You know what? Blackbeard killed Thatch and allegedly they were family and I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. It's a pirate world. It is what it is. For you to do that, to dismiss everything Corazon did, when you know Doflamingo is evil as hell, you need to settle down. Now. You need to settle down. Because I need that same energy for Blackbeard then. I need that. Never saw them as fam. Corazon never wanted to be there. He was there for a mission. He was never there. Corazon was not there to be family. So no. No, 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 no. Hell no. Hell no. Doflamingo killed his own father. You talk about family. Duffy killed his dad. What are we talking about? What does that mean? You cool with Dofi killing his own father, but you mad because Corazon snitched on Dofi? What? Where did they do that at? Dofi's dad indirectly killed mom. The hoops this nigga is jumping through. I can't believe it. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I just can't. I can't believe it. And he killed Corazon in cold blood. You reaching, Dom. You're reaching. The only reason Corazon took interest in Law was because Law had the will of D, which is why he helped him. Exactly, but that turned into a greater relationship as a result. The relationship was cultivated. It was greater. Homing tried to be a good person and his family suffered for it. Homing was misguided, and I understand that. Homing was the reason why Dofi's mother died, but he didn't do it out of betrayal and spite. He needed to save the morality of his family from being degenerates. He wanted to stop us from being degenerates. He was just misguided. He should have lived on the island by himself, with no other people around. He was a fool. And that's what it was. Doesn't mean you kill your dad. Even though I understand why Dofi killed his dad, which is why I won't slander Dofi for it. My problem with you is that you're saying you don't like Corazon because he snitched on Dofi when he had clear reasons to do so, but then you want to excuse Dofi for killing his father for having reasons. Do you see what the disconnect is? Do you see it? Because I'm not understanding. I'm still not understanding what we're doing. I don't get it. He didn't even try to change his brother's ways. He was trying to get him locked up because he was never going to change. Once you kill your father, do you think you're going to change? If I kill my dad, do you think there's any coming back for me? I watched you kill my dad, and then you took his head to Mary Joa to try and be a celestial dragon again. But you want me to believe that nigga can change? How many niggas has Dofi killed in front of Corazon? He's a conqueror. He has conqueror's hockey. When have you ever seen someone with a conqueror's hockey just say, oh, well, I'm just going to change? Besides Katakuri. And hell, Katakuri wasn't really evil to begin with, if we're going to be honest. Y'all make me sick with this shit. It's terrible. First Blackbeard and Thatch, now this. What is going on here? I need answers. Ace never changed. Ace didn't change. That's why he died in Marineford, because Ace didn't change. Ace has always been who he has been. Ace never changed. He just ended up liking Whitebeard. A snitch is as bad as a murderer in what planet? In what planet? Why are we moving the goalpost? What are you talking about? I don't understand. So if I shoot you, right? I shoot you in the chest. And then I snitch on my sister for stealing a gumball. Who's worse? Or if my dad snitches on my sister to the police for stealing a gumball and she gets a slap on the wrist. Now's not the time to debate. It's not the time. It's not. It's not. When I settle down, we can bait again. But right now, I've never been so insulted with this Corazon take before. I've never heard it. I've never seen this. It's like you can like Dofi. You can like Dofi. I like Blackbeard. He stabbed Thatch in the back. We don't like Thatch. Who cares about him? But don't lie on Corazon and say he's trash for snitching on a world-class criminal. Imagine you getting mad at me for snitching on Pablo Escobar. Imagine you getting mad at me for snitching on Hitler because he's my brother. Imagine you getting mad at me for snitching on Stalin because he's my brother. I want you to think about that. This man Dofi enslaved countries, turned them into toys, and made them forget their families. But you mad at somebody for snitching on Doflamingo? Well, I've seen The Godfather. Fredo. Fredo. All right. Fredo. Unbelievable. An argument from Morge was he didn't feel as bad for Law compared to Nami and Chopper and Robin because they were innocent while he wasn't. How? Oh, we gotta talk. I'm gonna have to talk to Morge about this. I'm gonna have to talk to Morge about this. Did they not see the beginning of the flashback? Law was an innocent? My nigga. What? Morge! I need to have a long dialogue with Morge. I need to have a long dialogue. A long one. A very, very long dialogue with Morge. I'm very confused. No, Morge, no. I expect that from Matt or Fiji, but not Morge. I'm very upset. I'm very sad. I'm gonna have to send a strongly worded email to Morge. He's getting a strongly worded email. Not Morge, bro. Not my nigga Morge. Can't be Morge. We need to have a long, stern discussion with Morge. A dialogue. He said, who is Morge? Let me talk to him. Morge didn't say that? How do you know? What do you mean by that? Do you have proof? Where is Fiji? Fiji's vibing, bro. He's vibing. He made a stream recently about flashbacks. Yep. I'm going to have Morge on the show after the next guest. We're going to talk about that. We have to talk about that immediately. Immediately. We're going to talk about that. Oh, boy. I'm sorry. I want to get to the next topic. I'm still furious about the Corazon take. 2, Morge, why? I just don't get it. Make it make sense to me. That's all. That's really what I want to know. All right. So, Morge apparently said that he felt more for Nami's backstory and Chopper's backstory and Robin's backstory than Law's. And I would argue Law's is the most emotional backstory we have. Yeah. You know, it's like you can't really power scale people's loss and suffering. But if you put it into context, Law had 2 parents and a sister and an orphanage, a nun, full of people he loved and cared about. And they were all brutally murdered before his eyes. Dude even went out of his way to hide his sister and found his sister dead in a closet. After that, he was stuck with a terminal illness that nobody had the cure for. And you want to tell me that you felt more for Nami, Robin, and Chopper? I don't want to power scale suffering, but that's as down bad as it gets. Matter of fact, you spitting. Law hitting corpses to survive. Corpses. I missed that. I'm mad I missed that. Corpses. Robin, I understand. I understand. Nami, to be honest, Nami suffered. Nobody's saying Nami didn't suffer. I'm talking there's levels to this. Now, then again, Nami watched Belmere die before her eyes. Law watched his entire family, sister, and all his friends die in front of him and the village. Nami still had a village. Law had nobody. Law's entire country full of people were massacred. And he was there. And he hid in their bodies. What are we talking about? It doesn't get darker than Law's backstory. It doesn't. Law's backstory, it doesn't get darker than Law's backstory. It does not. I should have put this in the video, god damn it. It just doesn't. I might tell my editor to just record the rant at this point. Brook, I understand Brook. Watching all your homies die in front of you? Bro, that's different. Watching them slowly die is crazy. And then being alone for 40 years, nigga, with no hope of running into anyone, that's wild. Brooks had me crying. But it's still not sadder than Loss. It's still not sadder than Loss. Because Brooke didn't have a turn. Well, actually, to be fair, he died. Funny enough, yes, he died. Brooke did die. He just came back. And he had to live with the fact that he was the one left because he thought she would be safer in the closet. Exactly. He tried to hide his sister. They still killed her. Do you not see how cute that little baby was? Law's sister was precious. And you knew Law cared about her. At least Law eventually found people he could trust. Robin didn't have that until the Straw Hats. But that's my point. That's the whole point of Corazon in the first place. That's the whole point. That's why I said Corazon is the deciding factor. After everything Law went through, dealing with a terminal illness, at least Robin had a life to look forward to, even if it was hard. At least she still had the hope that it would get better. Law had no hope it would get better. I said, I'm dying. Law literally had no shred of hope. Corazon was doing everything in his power, and they were told no over and over and over and over again. Law was a little asshole to Corazon. They was fighting all the time. Corazon did not give up on Law no matter what. He could have thrown Law aside years ago. He didn't give up. Law had zero purpose. Zero. Nothing to look forward to. No future. Nothing. The disease that he has is the reason everybody in his life died, and he has to live with that? And you want to tell me Law's backstory is not sad? Guys, come on. Like, I'm saying, like, just, you gotta picture it. He said Law still suffering to this day. Man's crew his ass. Oh, I'm crying. Oh, Law is sad, but I put Norland over it. No, Norland's backstory, if we're talking about plot, Norland's backstory is excellent. Don't get me wrong. If we're talking about plot relevancy, yeah, Lost is not even, Robin's backstory, Norland's backstory, the flashback, they're better. That's fine. Plot relevance. We're talking about emotions. One Piece, out of any other series, One Piece pulls on your heartstrings more than any other series. And one of the greatest, arguably the best emotional work that I've seen Oda do is what he did with Law's backstory. And I might be wrong, and I understand that, because that's a controversial take. I wouldn't say that's a normal take. That's a controversial take. It's just when I put it into context and I explain to you guys, it makes sense. I can explain it, and you can say, I see where you're coming from, but I disagree. It's not when I explain it, oh, this nigga has no idea what he's talking about. Shut your mouth. I don't even think Norland and the Skypians are very underrated. I don't even think they're underrated. Senior Pinks was very sad. Senior Pink's backstory hit hard. Kobe got the best backstory. Kuros. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Kuros watched his wife die and his child live alone and suffer and be hunted. And he was stuck being a toy protecting her, and he could never tell. His daughter forgot him. His daughter forgot him, and he stayed with her for 10 years. Watching the people he fought for suffer. King Riku betrayed his wife that saved his literal life, die, and lost his daughter. Now that's pain. But it's still not greater than Laws. It's still not. It's still not. Horty Jones' backstory? Meh. I understand Horty Jones, but Arlong is better. Arlong is clear. I'm sorry. Arlong is clear. Arlong is clear. What's up, Abdel? So, El Baffy, I would find that people would agree with what you said, but we never wanted to go that far because it's really egregious and it's disgusting. But when you really, really think about what could have happened to the Boa sisters and Boa Hancock herself as slaves to celestial dragons who have zero amounts of morality, you can only imagine what those three children went through. You can only imagine. The difference with Boa and Law is that we have the imagination. We have to imagine what happened. So you don't really know, but you can kind of guess what happened. But with Law, we saw it happen. We saw it. That's exact. The branding was the least of their concerns. The bare minimum. Because I completely understand El Baffy. Like, I've never wanted to go that far because it's gruesome when you really think about it. It's grotesque when you think about it. It's a line that we just would rather not discuss. Because there's lines in this world. There's lines. And Oda didn't tell us for a reason. But I'll tell you this. Like I said in my Boa Hancock video. You can tell how bad it was when Sanda Sonia, after years of being free and safe, the very mention of Boa talking about what they could have went through, Sanda Sonia was wailing, screaming, and crying after years of what happened. Do you know what type of trauma you have to go through to have that reaction after years? One could only imagine. One could only imagine what they went through. And we know how disgusting the celestial dragons are. They ride people like horses. Hold on. We froze a little bit. Okay, we're good. If you try to escape, they blow you up. The celestial dragons need to die. To me, they have to die. I'm with Dragon 100%. To me, I don't even want them. I don't want them alive. I don't want any redemption. They have to die. They have to die. They have to. Kids say it perfectly. Pirates are not. Exactly. They're not. They're nothing compared to them. Jay, how many admirals can Dragon body? I think he can take. I can think he can take an admiral. Depending on how far Oda wants to go with him, I think it's possible for him to take 2 admirals. Miso Guard is the only one that redeemed himself. Literally, no, because Miso Guard might have done horrible things, but what he did for Shirahoshi and the Fishmen, you have to understand that regular people hate fishmen. Regular people. So for the fact for a celestial dragon, the highest authority in the world, to save Shirahoshi, what he did was huge. Huge, huge, huge. It cannot be underestimated. It cannot be underestimated what Miso Guard did. It cannot be. Speaking of backstories, Jay, do you think we will get a kid backstory like Law? I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever get a backstory as sad as Law's unless Blackbeard's is as sad. And it's funny because I'm about to talk about something involving him up next. It's crazy. This actually turned into more of a stream than a show, but hey, we are analyzing backstories, which is fine. I just don't know if we'll be able to chop this up into a YouTube video outside of the law discussion, but we'll see. I'll talk to my editor and see what we do. This is kind of more of a free ball. This is kind of like a forum in a way. This is like a forum. Because I like this. I like the discussion we're having. This is like great discussion because I've wanted to talk about backstories for a while. I wanted to do a bunch of videos on backstories, but you guys' input is very intriguing and very engaging. So I want to keep talking about this until we're ready. Can you read my comment above? Because I kind of twisted Morge's words. What did Morge say? What did Morge say? I don't know. Oh, I see it. Let me rephrase what Morge said because I kind of twisted his words, not gonna lie. He said, Oda wrote the other kids as soft, while Law wasn't the nicest kid and was a psychopath when he pulled up to Doflamingo. So he didn't feel as bad. So here's my problem with that. Morge should take into account what Law did and had gone through before he met Doflamingo, because that's the whole point. Law, what child wouldn't behave like Law did after what he went through? To me, that's a poor excuse. That's what I'm saying. They murdered they didn't murder just his family. They murdered his country. Imagine you as 10 years old and everybody within a 100 to 200 mile radius of you dies. And not just like a bomb, like it's not an atomic bomb or anything. It is a literal force and invasion annihilating everyone and everything, shooting, burning, stabbing right before your eyes. And the only way you survive is hiding within the dead bodies of the people that you grew up with. And then you hold Law being a brat to Doflamingo against him? Morge, no! No. And then on top of that, you get the worst luck of the draw. You get an incurable disease on top of that. So your whole country is murdered, then you get cancer. Your entire country, family, children, dies, and then you get cancer. That's what happened. Do we not understand how bad Law's life was? I don't understand. And he's 10. He's 10 years old. Dog. Oda's backstories are dark. I don't think people understand. Nobody survived. Yes, and the whole world is taught to hate people with cancer. Doctors will turn them away. Oh, we can't help you. Go away. And imagine, his parents were doctors. He wanted to be a doctor. The people that he admired and put faith in turned him away. The people who his parents lived their life to be, they turned him away. One Piece has sadder backstories, easy money. It's not even close. Not even close. Oda out here destroying Ohara. Oda out here. Oda destroying Ohara. He destroying giant villages because of Big Mom. Destroying countries. The greatest backstory in the anime history is gonna be the one that finally reveals the Void Century. I am 1,000% with you, Van Auger. 1,000%. The only person that cared for him after all that, exactly, the only person that cared about Law's life died before his eyes. All Law knows is people dying in front of him, people he cares about. All he knew was people he cared about dying before his eyes. It's a wonder he's as reserved as he is now. It's a wonder he doesn't trust anybody. But of course he can trust Luffy. That's why he told him, yeah, Luffy's different. You can trust him. He's just different. Do you think there can be a darker backstory than Brooks? Law's backstory is darker. That loneliness is his killer. I can't imagine what that would be like. It's rough. It's definitely very rough. And that's why I understand Brooks. Kiros's backstory is extremely dark as well. Having the daughter that you love and cherish, the only memoir of your wife, forget you, and you're stuck in a toy body with one leg. So you have to protect her while she doesn't know who you are. Do you remember when Dressrosa ended? Do you remember how loud Kuros cried after everything was over? Do you remember what Kuros did after everything was over? My man was screaming. And it's no surprise. Well, now so let's talk about Arlong. Let's talk about Arlong. So what did he say about Arlong? What did North Blue say about Arlong? Son, Arlong hold out Nami after kill. Oh, wait. So again, what happened to Nami, Meliodas, or Law, which backstory is darker? Having to watch the love of your life die over and over and over and over and over again is pretty aggressive. I won't lie. That's pretty painful. But that's one person compared to your entire country. And Meliodas gets to live. And at least he knows she'll be reincarnated. So eventually after, it will hurt, but at least you get to see her again. Law's not going to see nobody again. He ain't seen Corazon, his family, nothing. And he had cancer. Law in 7. Matter of fact, Law in 6. Oh yeah, Arlong is real heavy after Fishman Island. You gotta understand Arlong after Fishman Island. Robin's suffering was a lot, but she didn't suffer for long. Brooke suffered for decades. I understand this, but nobody in the world. Robin had no hope of finding a home because everyone would find out about her and then try and kill her or try and sell her out. So would you rather be lonely forever or would you rather be betrayed for the rest of your life? I think that's something that we need to ask. He said, keep it. I'm screaming, Rick. Rick, I'm actually hollering. Rick. He said, keep it, nigga. I don't want it. Rick said, no. Hell no. Rick and Ford. Brooke had no hope of even seeing anyone again. He didn't, which is true. I mean, he did see Moria, ironically, and lost his shadow. That's funny. I know it's, but. So, actually, someone remind me of Brooke's backstory. So, did Brooke didn't lose his shadow with his crewmates. He lost his shadow after he got a skeleton. So, he ran into people. He just ran into the wrong nigga. That's really what it was. And then he was stuck. So, then he had to be stuck in the Florian Triangle. So, he did run into people. Bro, if you stick on the seas for 50 years, you get used to it. I'm sorry. Again, what I think you guys understand is that Brooke still had his life. Brooke still had life. There was hope for Brooke. As long as he's alive, there's hope. He probably ran into a bunch of ships where niggas were dead. He ran into Moria, obviously. His soul was wandering, looking around for a body. Again, but did he not? That's what I'm saying. He drifted the Thriller bark. He saw people. Law's life had an expiration date. Brooks didn't. Until the shadows. And that's when we get to more suffering. So Brook ran into people. He just ran into the wrong nigga. Brook got to say goodbye to his homies. Law didn't. Found his skeleton years later and was on the ship for 30 plus years by himself. Yeah, it sucks. It does suck. He wasn't on the same ship. Wasn't he? Or am I tripping? Was it the same ship? And that's true. When Brook cried when he was playing the piano and he said, "I'm so glad to be alive," that hit. That hit. That really did hit. I'm so glad to be alive. That was a big moment. It really did hit. And again, this is what I like to say with you guys. We're not saying that Brook's backstory does not hit emotionally. But let's put it into perspective. We saw Brook's people die. And then off screen, he was alone for 50 years. Robin, everyone died in front of her. Her mom died. She escaped. Then she suffered for 20 years off screen. Right? Off screen. When it comes to emotional sadness, we watched Law's family, sister, orphanage, children, country die before his eyes. We saw Law hide in corpses. We saw it with our own two eyes. We saw Law lose Corazon after saving his life. The only man that cared about him before his eyes shot him up right in front of the treasure chest he was hiding. Then we saw Law run away crying and screaming in silence because Corazon kept himself alive long enough for Law to escape. We saw it. That's different. It's just different. It's different. It's just different. Law in 6. I'm sorry. Off-screen pain ain't pain. Spit. That's the name of the stream. Off-screen pain ain't pain. On-screen pain is pain. Otherwise, we would talk about the Boa sisters, because then the Boa sisters would have a worse backstory than everybody. Otherwise, the Boa sisters would have a worse backstory than everybody in One Piece. And it wouldn't be close either. 2 years as female child slaves in the Celestial Dragons? Get Brook, Robin, get all them niggas out of there. They don't even come close. But it was off screen, so we don't like to think about it. With Law, you saw it. You see it all. And that's my point. That's why Law's backstory is different. Oda showed us everything. We saw it all. There's no off screen there. We saw it all. We saw the cancer. We saw the burning. You saw his daughter. You saw his sister dead in a closet, bro. How does that not hit? So it's like you can imagine pain, and then there's tangible pain. It hits different because you see it. The whole country's gonna die anyway, but they didn't die because of the causes. They were killed, murdered with weaponry and firearms by human beings. Oh, Fisher Tiger. You know what, bro? Fisher Tiger might be one of the most underappreciated characters in the series. First of all, the Sun Pirates flashback was pure gas. One of the best things about Fishman Island. One of the saving graces of Fishman Island. That flashback was gas. And actually, you're wrong. Fisher Tiger isn't Malcolm X. Arlong is Malcolm X. And I'm going to tell you why. Arlong decided, after everything I've seen these humans do, it's time to fight back. My fishermen brethren are better. We will uplift them, and I will make sure no one ever underestimates the fishermen again. He went down the aggressive path. Jinbei wanted to work within. No, it's about peace. We got to do it. It's about peace. Jinbei is MLK. Arlong is Malcolm X. Now, the difference is Arlong didn't change his ways. Like, Malcolm X eventually became more peaceful as time went on. Arlong just kept being angry, and I understood why. If you pay attention to Arlong's dialogue, do you know the amount of care he had for every fisherman in Arlong Park? If somebody messed up a grunt, fodder, Arlong was incensed. Brother, who did this to you? Who touched you? Arlong was evil to humans only. But to his brothers, Arlong was like, you're not going to touch mine. Arlong loved fishermen, adored them. He had reverence for them. He uplifted them to the highest degree. We're better than humans. We're better at everything you do. Dog, do you know the amount of time that Arlong stopped to monologue to Luffy about how great fishermen were? Where do you think that came from? Arlong has heard his entire life that fishermen are trash, they're garbage, they're not worth anything from all these humans, the way they treated him. So Arlong's like, I'm changing the script. I'm changing the world. We dominate the seas. We can destroy you. We're better than you. We're stronger than you. We're quicker. I can make money better than y'all. I can rule y'all better. Arlong is a fisherman hero. But the difference is he's a fisherman hero. And that's where it's different. And yes, Fisher Tiger is Nat Turner. Yes. Wouldn't Fisher Tiger be post NOI Malcolm X? You could make the argument. You could make the argument. You could 1,000% make the argument. Yep, which is what makes Arlong very intriguing and retrospect. Bro, what if Arlong is alive and he has a Fisher Tiger moment come EOS and he could be in Mary Jo with Kuma? If Arlong actually pulls a Fisher Tiger, I don't know how I feel about it. It depends on how Oda would write it. It really depends. I respect Arlong. I think people need to... This is why Arlong will be in my top... I mean, you guys saw my top 5 villains. You know Arlong is like... Whoa, I think Arlong was number 4, I think. He might have been number 5. How do you feel about if Kobe was Joy Boy? I just don't think it'd be a good fit. Not for Kobe. It wouldn't be a good fit for me. Fisher Tiger was respectable up until the point he refused to accept human blood. Like, bro, you dead ass would be alive right now. Well, Saf, you got to put it in this perspective. To me, that moment is beautiful. Now, let's try and absorb this. You guys can criticize me if not. But the beauty of that moment of Fisher Tiger saying, I cannot accept human blood. Fisher Tiger has seen the worst in humanity. He has been a slave. Fisher Tiger, the fact that he was willing to help Koala is the magnitude of the man that Fisher Tiger was. Out of men, period, Fisher Tiger is probably the manliest man in One Piece. Fisher Tiger saw Koala, saw what she went through, gave her the brand of the Sun Pirates, and brought her back to her parents, and suffered for it. He saved a human after what humans did to him and Mary Joa. He didn't even kill humans. He's like, I'll never be like humans. I'll never be like them. And then he saved one. And he died because of one. There is no way in hell Fisher Tiger could ever accept human blood, or it would be a disgrace to the entire life that he lived. It would be a disgrace to his entire life. He said, everything that I've stood for, my livelihood, my ideology, everything that I believe in, if I take this human blood, it means nothing to me. And that's why he didn't take it. And that's why it hit harder than anything before, because you knew he couldn't do it. Because only a man with those type of ideals, with the strength of ideals that he had, only a man like that would be able to pull off the stuff he did in Mary Joa, would be able to give Koala back to her parents. Only a man of that insanity when it comes to his ideals could be able to do something like that. He's a different guy. You can't apply normal behavior, normal decisions to someone like Fisher Tiger. It's the same thing with Luffy. You can't apply normal standards and decision makings to a man like Luffy, Roger, Ace. You can't do it. I know the term is oversaturated, but he's literally built different. Fisher Tiger is the most underestimated character we might have in the story. One of them. He's like, there's 5 of them. There's a lot of them, right? Kyros is another one. He's just literally, Fisher Tiger is built, he climbed the red line to save humans, bro. After what them niggas did to him? Son! Legendary! Come on! Fisher Tiger is different. He said he's the Megatron of One Piece. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who climbs the red line as a fisherman to save humans? You know why? Because his ideals, his slavery is the worst thing any fisherman or human could ever imagine. I denounce the ideology of humans who make slaves. To him, freeing slaves is a big middle finger to humanity. You guys did this. Fishermen don't have slaves. You did this to us. So F you. Fisher Tiger. A man amongst men. One Piece, like, man, Oda, this flashback stuff, Oda's backstories, bro. That's why I keep telling y'all, when we get Kaido's backstory, bro, we're not ready for it. We're not ready for Kaido's backstory. We're absolutely 1,000% not ready for Kaido's backstory. We're not ready for it. I promise you. We're not ready for it. Dressrosa was painful to read week to week until we got to Law's backstory. Then everything changed. We didn't understand Big Mom until her backstory came. Then everything started to change. Shout out to Sensei Inc. for the 10 gifted subs. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. God bless. Big ballin' out here. But again, if Fisher Tiger took that blood, it'd be an insult to everything that he stood for and his legacy. It would tarnish everything. And that's how beautiful Oda's writing is because he gave you everything you needed to see based on all his behavior. Oda rarely misses with the backstory. Rarely. Law, I think they do talk about that. Oh wait, what are we talking about here? You don't find Kaido interesting? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I think Kaido gets more and more interesting every day. Their narration with Jinbei, yes, I very much agree. I very much agree. The narration for Luffy giving blood to Jinbei, or Jinbei giving blood to Luffy, literally is just to show that Jinbei was different than Fisher Tiger. It's the legacy of Fisher Tiger, but taken into different factions. That's why Arlong and Jinbei are so interesting. They both took sides of Fisher Tiger and went in different directions and different choices. One went to the vengeful, violent, but uplifting his fisherman brethren path, right? The other one went down the path of, I love my fishermen brethren and I want better for them and I want them to be able to live on the surface, but I also have the kindness and the care that Fisher Tiger had, but I'm willing to give that to humans like Fisher Tiger did with Koala. Remember, Arlong wanted to kill Koala. Remember that. Remember that. Arlong wanted to kill Koala. Jinbei didn't do anything. He just watched and said, Arlong, calm down. Fisher Tiger shaped who Jinbei and Arlong are, and they took different parts of Fisher Tiger and they separated. Fisher Tiger was the whole. Jinbei and Arlong are two sides of Fisher Tiger. Malcolm and MLK are both children of Nat Turner. When you think about it, it kind of does. It kind of does. Fisher Turner, I'm screaming. That's hilarious. Jinbei was a diplomat. Arlong was the tyrant. Fisher Tiger was the hero. Was he the tyrant? Again, it depends on the perception that you're looking at Arlong with. Because I wouldn't call Arlong a tyrant. He was a tyrant to humans. I would call Arlong a fisherman hero, but a violent one. That's how I would see it. He was an antagonistic force to Nami and humans. But from the perception of fishmen, he was all about uplifting his people. Arlong was all about the preservation and advancement of his people. And honestly, why should Arlong give a damn about humans anyway? Seriously, ask yourself that question. Why should Arlong give a damn about humans? Why? I want to see if anyone can answer. Why? What do you think? Why do you think Arlong should give a damn about humans, or why they feel? Why? Because that's a serious question that I want you guys to answer. Because I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the purpose of Arlong caring about humans at all. Nami, unfortunately, was a product of what society was. What happened with Nami, what happened to her village, was a product of the world. Was a product of society. It was a catalyst. He should, because Fisher Tiger did. Fisher Tiger did not like humans. Fisher Tiger had the ideals that everything that humanity tries to present towards me, I reject it. So Fisher Tiger had the perception that humans are selfish, scummy people, and he hated humans. He said it to Jinbei and Arlong, I despise humans. So everything that Fisher Tiger, every perception that he had of humans, which is scummy, selfish, disgusting creatures, he did the opposite. Oh, there's a child suffering that I should hate. What would a human do? Beat her, kill her, toss her overboard. Fisher Tiger said, nah, I ain't gonna do that. Take her home. A slave? What would a human do if they saw a koala? Get out of here. She's a slave? Oh my God, the celestial dragons are gonna kill us. Fisher Tiger said, nope, give me the brand. Bam. You're not a slave no more. You're a sun pirate. Now get the hell out of here and go to your parents. Why? Because it's the non-human thing to do. That's why Fisher Tiger did that. It's all about you understand. Oda made it very clear what Fisher Tiger's perception of humans was. Everything Fisher Tiger did was an FU to humanity. Good night, Fat D Naughty. Good night. You guys got to understand that. Exactly, but he met Nami after her, so why was he so cold to her again? Because he never liked humans, Saf. Arlong never liked humans. I need you to understand. Arlong never, ever liked humans. The only reason he was even boldly nice to Nami is because she was useful. If Nami can draw maps, guess what's happening to Nami? She's getting folded. He was nice to Koala. Arlong wanted to kill Koala. We might have to watch the clip again, Saf, because I feel like you're not seeing what we're seeing. Arlong wanted to destroy Koala. Jinbei had to stop him. Arlong does not like humans in any capacity. None. Zero. He has zero sympathy for humans. At the end, when they sent her off, I bet you know what? You know how niggas are? So I'm gonna put you onto some games. Sim will understand this. If the leader of your pack let somebody go, in your mind, you want to fold that nigga. You want to fold him. But if the leader of your pack, your homie, the big homie, says, nah, leave him alone, let him go, you gonna let him go. But in your mind, it's like, man, if he let me fold her, I would have folded him. And you still thinking you would have folded him. I bet you money, if Arlong ran into Koala again, he'd probably kill her. Exactly. Arlong was happy she was gone. Arlong never liked Koala. Jay, he warmed up to Koala after a while. I think it's more of he tolerated Koala. He didn't do anything, because again, at the end of the day, you have to understand, Fisher Tiger was everything. Everything to the fisherman. Everything. You don't go against Fisher Tiger. You just don't do it. If Fisher Tiger says she lives, she lives. You make do. But deep down inside, I bet you Brad Arlong wanted to murder her. Deep down inside. Arlong was killing. Fisher Tiger said, don't kill humans. Arlong was out here doing raids and folding niggas with his swords. Die, humans. Die. Arlong is Killmonger, high key. Of the highest keys. Seriously. It's hard to answer this question. I can give more logical answering. Escaping the circle of hatred, kindness, and doing the right thing, but we are talking about people here. We are emotional creatures, and on that note, yeah, what he did on an emotional level was reasonable when looked at it from a point of view. So what are you, Frackles, what are you responding to? I'm missing the Suns game, and I'm out here. I'm supposed to be doing topics at this point. We just threw the topic. I mean, to be fair, the title of the video is we're discussing backstories and a theory. I just haven't gotten to the theory yet, which is kind of hilarious. I should probably talk about this damn theory. I should talk about this damn theory before I go. I really should. Yes, he was literally skewering and sawfishing women. But that's the whole point. This is what I'm trying to tell people. Oda depicted the black plight during the Jim Crow era, during slavery, in a way I never thought he'd be capable of doing as a Japanese man. Black people in particular resonate with Fishman, with Fisher Tiger, with Jinbei and Arlong more than people actually understand. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if black people really resonated with Arlong. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't surprise me if Jinbei reminded you of your black uncles, your peaceful black uncles, who are about uplifting your fellow man, but also being peaceful and inclusive. What is the theory? You said it's a close game? Ooh. I should make a YouTube video on this. I mean, I should. I've said everything that's in me right now. At this point, I might just tell my editor to chop up a lot of this stream, and every time I talk about Fisher Tiger, just put it in a video. I might just tell him, listen, it was supposed to be about Law. It's about Fisher Tiger now. It's about Arlo. You know what this might be? Jay rants about Fishman Island. And we'll see. I think this is why I associate with the Alabasta arc so much. For the same reasons I feel like the parallels between Crocodile being a terrorist, but giving the kingdom a bad name when he is really the true evil is so relevant. That is actually very interesting. That's very, very, very interesting. Because Crocodile is using his secret agents to hide within plain sight and try to frame the country itself as people that are poisoning the people, when in actuality, he's just using the people's perception against them. I see what you're saying, Saf. I see that. I see what you're saying. The problem with Fishman Island is Sanji's nosebleeds. That turned so many people off Fishman Island. It was insane. The Otahime flashback was great. Horty Jones, a lot of people didn't like Horty Jones either. So you got a villain that nobody likes, and Sanji's one of the worst Sanji moments we ever got. You tie that all together, and nobody cares about Horty Jones. If you don't hit, if the antagonists don't hit, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, man. That's how fragile this stuff is. It's the same thing with Punk Hazard. Nobody really cared about Caesar. I like Caesar because they think he's a bomb. Caesar was funny, but as an antagonist, he's a little evil. You know, he poisoned children, but you know. Sanji was irrelevant? No, Sanji's nosebleeds were poison to me. Poison. 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 He did poison kids. He did. Caesar was a horrible human being. If it's one of the first Sanji scenes you saw, then it's probably different for you. Raph, it's probably different for you. Oh yeah, trust me, I plan on doing an arc analysis with Jaya. I think people sleep on Skypiea heavily. Jaya and Skypiea itself is the embodiment of One Piece. I tell people that all the time. Calling poisoning children a little evil is nuts. I understand. But that's the point. It's tongue-on-cheek, my brother. It's tongue-on-cheek. It's tongue-on-cheek. Jaya is the greatest setup arc in One Piece. Yes. Yes, I agree. I had to think about it for a second, but yes. Sabaody would... people would probably say Sabaody, but Jaya... Water 7 too. Water 7, but Jaya... I might get stoned for this. I'm taking Jaya over Water 7. I'm taking Jaya over Water 7. I'm taking Jaya over Water 7. I know it's blasphemy. I know it's blasphemy. But I'm taking Jaya over Water 7. Do you guys understand? Shanks ran into Whitebeard at the end of Jaya? Do y'all know that? Do you guys remember that Shanks ran into Whitebeard? The first introduction to Whitebeard and Shanks as a Yonko was at the end of Jaya? Do we remember that? Jaya set up the world's next events. It's not... I understand if people say it's cap. But I'm taking Jaya over Water 7. And the best speech in One Piece we've ever had was in Jaya. One of the most hype moments we had as One Piece fans ever. Luffy tagging Bellamy. To this day, the hardest punch Luffy might have ever thrown was at Bellamy. I don't think you guys understand that Bellamy was rushing Luffy at almost the speed of sound. And he fucking tagged that nigga. He just put that nigga in the dirt. And yo, he had an indent in his skull. I ain't never seen Luffy hit a nigga that hard yet. I'm just not, dog. And then, bro, the scene after. The blood on Luffy's fist after he tagged Bellamy was the most violent look I've ever seen Luffy have. I'm telling you, Luffy really hurt Bellamy, bro. We didn't see Bellamy for so long after that. Oh, Jesus. Bro had blood on the leaves, literally, Mandy. Literally. Oh my goodness. And you have to understand, Think about I want you guys to mention this. Think about the build up to that punch. Think about the bar scene. What Nami, Zoro, all of them went through. You wonder, why is Luffy not fighting back? Why is Luffy not fighting back? Why is Luffy taking all this damage? I just wish Luffy would fold Bellamy because we know he can do it. But he never did because they didn't hurt any of his friends. They didn't fight. He didn't do anything. All they do was making fun of his dreams. Why would I fight? I'm not a child. I'm a man. Why would I be so mad at somebody not agreeing with what I believe in? That's not worth a fight. You're just an idiot. I feel bad for you. The moment Bellamy touched one of his niggas, Luffy said, I'm about to put you into the ground. I'm going to do it. And he fucked Bellamy up. You know what? There's so many things about that Bellamy punch that I think is underrated. Hold on. I just want you to look at the aggression. That's all I want. I just want y'all to see the aggression of the image. Because maybe y'all forgot. Maybe y'all forgot about how aggressive this is. So this is funny. This is the weirdest but the most fun I've ever had on the JD Legend show yet. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. But I need y'all to see this. Where's my image? Look at this. Son, do you see the amount of aggression? And this is like, and he caught him in stride. He broke wood. He broke breaking docks, everything. Bodied that nigga. And then the best part, the impact was wow. But the best part is everybody was talking shit about Luffy in the vicinity, laughing at him. Look at this bum. Look at him. Bum. Fold him, Bellamy. Fold him. And Luffy eviscerated that nigga. They saw the blood on his hands. Everyone was like, oh, hell no. Everyone said, oh, hell no. Hell no. What was that? Everybody started running from this nigga Luffy. They said, no more. I want no beef. Oh, Jesus. If I wouldn't get copyright strike, I'd post a clip. That's a copyright strike waiting to happen. Maybe I can show a GIF. 100 million Berryman 2 on top of that. And it's the satisfaction afterwards. So it's the build-up. You got the build-up already. You already hated Bellamy, and you were already mad at Luffy for not fighting back. So to get that moment when it mattered most, that really showed everything Luffy was about, and it was all because he insulted his dream. He insulted the dream of a friend, not even his dream. He took the gold from Mont Blanc. What's his name? Cricket. He took from Cricket. Luffy said, nope, it's for the dream, for the homies, it's for me, it's for Zoro, for Nami. Packed them up. And then, and that's just that moment. Then we talk about the Blackbeard speech. So let's talk about the Blackbeard speech for a second. Do you guys understand? That is our first introduction to Blackbeard. Outside of the cherry pies, very similar to Luffy. Very, very similar. Cherry pies, they like to eat, they like to drink. Then Luffy goes through everything he went through. Blackbeard is chilling on the wood in the middle of the street, chilling, eating cherry pies and sipping Henny. I keep telling y'all, there is no one who is a bigger pirate than Blackbeard. There's nothing more piratey than sitting in front of everybody, drinking Hennessy and eating cherry pies. And just vibing. And then he sees what Luffy said. He tells Nami, listen, what you did there, you're a real one. What them niggas was saying in there is bullshit. Skypiea doesn't exist? Are you serious? We're pirates. We go on the sea to dream. The sea is an endless void of water where there's adventures that your mind has never seen. The sea, think about how big America is. Think about the fact that our country, our world is 70% water. And we as pirates sail these waters where there's dreams, there's places that people have never discovered, things that people have never seen. And we make the decisions to go on these seas, these uncharted seas, and we could see anything. You could run into a monster, you could run into a Yonko, you could run into the Marines, you could run into a treasure, you could run into anything. You literally are staking your life on the impossible. You're staking your life on the unpredictable. You could die at any time. You could die from a hurricane. You could die from anything. Being a pirate is going and sailing the uncharted. It's sailing the unknown. For you to say dreams don't exist, but you are a pirate is the most fraudulent thing you could ever say. So Blackbeard's like, my nigga, dreams never end. Dreams never end. If you're a pirate, your dreams never end. Because you don't know what you're going to see in the sea. So what they said there, they're not pirates. They ain't shit. That's why Luffy and Zoro won. Because they're not pirates. They're not real. But you, Luffy, you, Nami, you, Zoro, you're real. You're real. Don't you ever change that. That's the meaning of Blackbeard's speech. Blackbeard's speech is the definition of the story of One Piece. The very definition. Look at the character design of Blackbeard that we were introduced to. Missing teeth, bandana, scruffy clothes, no hygiene. But he doesn't care about anyone who's around him, laughing out loud. People are making fun of him, mocking him as he's saying this speech. Pirate, he doesn't give a damn. Why? Because he's a pirate. His whole life is about the unpredictable. It's about the dream. What do I want to accomplish? Let's go out there and get it. It's somewhere there. I don't have a map. I don't know where it is, but I'm still going to keep sailing. This nigga's sailing around in logs with a ship made of just logs. Nothing else. With 4 niggas, 5 niggas. A drunken nigga with a horse. A dude in a crazy getup and a sniper rifle. And a wrestler. And then a nigga with a top hat and a cane. And they're sailing on logs. In the Grand Line. Do y'all understand? Like, when we talk about this stuff, when we talk about Blackbeard, when we talk about Jaya, when we talk about the speech, don't just focus on the words. Focus on the context. Focus on Blackbeard and who he is and what he was within the context of the moment of what Bellamy was saying. Bellamy is a disgrace to pirates everywhere. And that's why Luffy didn't fight Zoro and Luffy, because they felt bad for him. You call yourself a pirate, but you're not even trying to see if Sky Island exists? But we live in a Grand Line where there's giant sea kings willing to kill you at any moment? Are you kidding me? Do you know what we've seen? Do you not see the Grand Line? Have you not seen Reverse Mountain? You didn't see Laboon, did you? You're not a pirate. You're a fraud. Blackbeard knew it too. Why? Because if Blackbeard can sail around the Grand Line with nothing but logs tied with a rope, with a nigga in a top hat, a wrestler, a drunken doctor, and a wild sniper with a monocle, 4 people, he doesn't even have a ship. Blackbeard doesn't have a ship. They're not built the same. They're not built the same. They weren't built the same. And this is why I tell y'all, Jaya is One Piece. Blackbeard's speech is One Piece. Skypiea is the culmination of everything that I just said. It's the culmination of that, of the bar scene with Luffy and Bellamy and Zoro and Nami. It's the culmination of Blackbeard's speech about dreams, the Nolan flashback, the culmination of dreams, Mont Blanc cricket, the culmination of people slandering dreams saying they don't exist, and then Luffy proving them right when Luffy rang that goddamn bell and they saw Luffy in the clouds. They saw the shadow of Luffy in the clouds, and Cricket saw that his ancestor years ago was telling the truth all along, and niggas lied and killed him for it. Tried to tell him his dream was wrong. You want to tell me Giant not gas? Get the fuck out of here! Get out of here! Giant's the best setup arc in the story. Get out of here. I'm not having it no more. I feel like a goddamn pastor. I'm sweating now. Giant, Geo skipped Skypiea. Geo, you ain't shit. I'm sorry. You can't, boy, Geo. Nah, Geo, nah. You're not a One Piece fan if you skip. I'm saying it now. You're not a One Piece fan if you skip Skypiea. You're not a One Piece fan. You're not. You're not a One Piece fan if you skip Skypiea. You're not. I denounce, I repudiate, and condemn you. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are not a One Piece fan if you skip Skypiea. I'm sorry. I can't acknowledge you. I cannot. It's a disgrace to everything Oda had built up. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just can't believe it. I can't. He said, who we banning? I don't know. Just find somebody. Whoever it is and just fold him. That's it. Just fold him. Oh, what are my thoughts on Wiper? I guess I'd probably have to reread to really get my thoughts on Wiper, because Wiper's not a character I really paid attention to outside of the cool raw moments that he had. But I respect Wiper. I respect him, but I didn't analyze him enough. So I can't give you a proper answer. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. Wiper definitely had balls. Yo, when he hopped on NL and hit him with that impact, that super impact dial or whatever that dial was called, bro. Reject. He low key, Wiper killed NL. He put the sea stone on him. He killed NL. He killed him. And that was just cheat. And that was just hacks. If we being real, Wiper killed NL. If you really think about it. If you really think about it. You know what's funny, guys? So you know what I'm going to do? One, first of all, I just need to tell you guys in the chat, I love every single one of you guys. Because my plans for this stroll has been completely derailed, and it's the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Because I've realized today that I have a lot of One Piece. There's a lot of One Piece in me that I've forgotten, and it's really coming out. Because I've basically just made a rant that I could turn into like 3 different videos at this point. Because I don't know how I could actually explain how I felt about Jaya any better than what I did, because it just came from the heart at that point. Because One Piece, I've been reading One Piece for like 15, 16, 17 years at this point. So if I could find, I'll talk to my editor, and if he can find a way to just grab that rant and just put it on YouTube, I'll just do it that way. Screw the editing. I don't care. I don't. Because this is like, that's the beauty of One Piece at the end of the day. One Piece is like, the journey, this is why I keep telling people, you may not like certain portions of One Piece when it's going on, but the culmination of the story itself is just unrivaled and unmatched because of the level and the layers and the depth that Oda writes and ties into the story that he created. How one man had the mind to create a story like this, to me, is nothing short of proof that God is real. Because you may be an atheist and I understand. For me, as a Christian, Oda's existence is proof that God said, I'm gonna make somebody who's so far beyond every storyteller on planet Earth that you only will believe I'm real because of Oda. That's how built different Oda is. Because to me, I've never seen. I'm trying to think of a story that has so much depth and layers that One Piece has. I'm trying to think like what. Like, there's got to be a story out there, right? There's got to be a story that rivals One Piece right now. There has to be, in terms of like the layers, the depth, like what? Because to me, it's hard pressed for me to think of something. Because the sad part is, and this is the greatest this is one of the greatest tragedy in modern man's history. Because Berserk actually, so Berserk is my favorite actually. So I'm glad you mentioned Berserk. Because Berserk holds a very special place in my heart. And there's but the difference between Berserk and One Piece is, Berserk's my favorite manga. But in terms of passion, a manga that I have passion for, I might even have more passion for One Piece than I do Berserk. The difference between One Piece and Berserk is that Berserk, I love every single word of Berserk. One Piece, there's portions of One Piece I don't love. But my passion for One Piece is unrivaled. And that's the difference. Berserk, to me, was an out-of-body experience when I read it. One Piece is a day-to-day experience. And that's the difference. Every day I pick up One Piece, every day I think about One Piece, I'm thinking about something new. I'm thinking about something hypothetical. I'm thinking about how can I talk about One Piece now. Berserk is a story. One Piece is a life. And that's the difference. I have all 7 deluxe and I pre-ordered the next 2. And that's really what One Piece means to me. And at the end of the day, I may say Berserk is my top 1. But One Piece has been going on for so long, and it's been, and again, the Berserk, the hiatus is obviously, rest God, Miura's death hit me so hard. Rest in peace, Miura. But the consistency and the dedication that Oda continues to give us, so we live a week-to-week experience for over decades of our life. Think about how long we virtually lived with Oda's mind in One Piece. Weekly. Berserk was monthly. Weekly we lived with One Piece. It's like growing up with your brother and sister. You may have a best friend that you love to death. You'll die for him. But your sister is someone that you spent every day with. You went to sleep in the same house, the same with your parents and everything. That's the difference. There's a difference. So the passion, it's a different game. It's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. Now, I don't know how if I don't talk about this theory, I'm never going to talk about it. I'm just never going to talk about it. So what we're going to do is this is going to be probably the most, I don't want to say unprofessional, but I'm going to do something different for this video. I'm going to do something different for this theory. I'm just going to spitball to you guys. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? Because I'm in a very strong One Piece mood. And this is something that I found, this theory is very interesting. Right? This is a very interesting theory. So I want you guys to follow me here. So let's talk about Shanks and the pirate that he mentioned the Gorosei should be worried about. That's what this theory is going to be about. Now, a lot of people would obviously say Blackbeard. And if you watch one of Brago's latest videos, he mentioned that it couldn't be Blackbeard because the Gorosei already know about Blackbeard. So why would Blackbeard be this big topic that Shanks would bring up to the Gorosei if they're very well aware of the Paramount War, what he's capable of, his fight with Marco, the Payback War, everything? Why would it be Blackbeard? It can't be him. Unless there's something else. Now, I want to allude to something that we may not have thought of. What pirate would warrant Shanks, a Yonko, going up to the most powerful 5 men on the world and warning them in the middle of a reverie where security is at its highest. What entity has had that much of a fear factor in the story? Rox D. Xebec. Rox D. Xebec is the only pirate that we've had outside of Roger that has been such a threat to the world that all the future Yonko were in the same place at one time, including Garp, the hero himself, and teamed up with Roger, the most notorious pirate in the world, just to stop this man. But Xebec is dead. So how can it be Xebec? Well, let's dissect that. Do you remember when Blackbeard was the discussion of Shanks and Whitebeard when he was warning him that Ace shouldn't go after Blackbeard? Do you remember that? Do you remember what Shanks said? Shanks said, I was on guard. The scar that hurts the most is the one Blackbeard gave me. But what shocks me the most is I wasn't caught off guard. I was prepared. But he still got me. And I thought to myself, why? Why would Shanks get caught off guard by Blackbeard? Why? Why would that happen? And then I think to myself, now this might be Magi spoilers, but I'll try my best not to spoil. If you haven't read Magi, just mute for a second and I'll explain to you the concept of what I'm talking about. But if you remember Sinbad and David inhabited Sinbad. And his consciousness was within Sinbad, and he was guiding him through his challenges, and it was basically 2 people, but it was really just 1 person, but he was a unique entity. Now, I'm tying this concept into Blackbeard because there's a lot of hints to another entity residing within Blackbeard. The point is I believe the consciousness of Xebec is within Blackbeard. And now, if you notice, there's a lot of hints to the uniqueness of Blackbeard. When we were in Jaya, Zoro and Luffy said, oh, there's more than one of them. Why did they say that? Marco mentioned there's something off about Blackbeard's body. If Zoro and Luffy and Marco can pick this out, what if in the moment in time where Shanks and Blackbeard had confronted in the past, what if that consciousness of Xebec was the thing that Shanks had not foreseen? There's no way Shanks could have foreseen something like that happening. And that caught him off guard. And then Blackbeard got his strike in. And he's like, what was that? I don't understand. Where did that come from? So then he thought maybe it's just that Blackbeard was withholding his power. And that's why I'm telling Whitebeard now, he's been hiding his strength for 20 years. Don't let Ace fight this guy. Now you might be wondering, okay, so what does that have to do with what Shanks was talking about? So let's go on. Let's continue on. So if you notice with Blackbeard, there's a lot of parallels between him and Xebec. What, you ask? Let's think about it. Why can't Blackbeard sleep? There has to be some sort of disturbance. It's either he is not of this world, or there has to be some sort of disturbance within him that's not allowing him to sleep. What if it's the consciousness that's living within him, that's constantly speaking to him and guiding him? And you say speaking and guiding to him, well, let's think about Blackbeard's behavior. What did Xebec do? He gathered the world's greatest criminals, or the world's most notorious pirates, on Beehive Island and subjugated all of them and wanted to travel the world. He wanted to find out all the world's secrets. He wanted to dominate the world. He wanted power, low key or high key. He wanted to be the pirate king that wasn't established then, but he wanted to go farther. If you look at Blackbeard's behavior, what has Blackbeard done? Blackbeard went to Impel Down and freed one of the world's greatest criminals to join his crew. Where did Blackbeard reside after he finally settled down, defeated Marco, became a Yonko, and stole Whitebeard's fruit? Oh, that's right, Beehive Island. What is the name of the ship of Blackbeard? The Saber of Xebec. I wonder where he got that inspiration. What are Blackbeard's dreams and goals? Power. The secrets of the world. He wants to be the Pirate King. He wants to find the One Piece. Let's not forget that Marshall D. Teach, he's also a D. So we have Blackbeard not being able to sleep. We already have confirmed evidence that there is something within him that people can sense, but they don't know what it is. Both Marco and Luffy has already said it. So if Shanks, who's arguably the most perceptive pirate we have in the story, reminisces of what could have that presence been, and then we go back to God Valley. We don't know Shanks' backstory, do we? I wonder why. Maybe it's something Oda's withholding. Maybe his backstory is key to a very specific event in the story. God Valley. Shanks is 39 years old. God Valley was 38 years ago. A lot of people theorize that Shanks could have been a son or child of Zebek, or a son and child of the Gorosei, the Celestial Dragons. If Shanks was in God Valley, he would have had an inkling of the presence of Zebek, because if he was rescued by Roger, maybe that's how Roger took him in. Maybe that's how the Celestial Dragons know who he is. One way or another, Shanks is tied to the Celestial Dragons. And if he was at God Valley and has already had a whiff of the presence of Roxy Zebek where he died, where he was probably at his strongest, where his presence is exuded all over the island, you don't think after a while Shanks would think, oh, wait a minute. That presence I felt back then, the behavior of Blackbeard is very similar to what I heard from Roger about Zebek. There's another person within him. I sense it. Gorosei, we have a problem. If Zebek is still alive, the pirate we need to be worried about is Blackbeard, because if Blackbeard and Zebek are somehow tied together, the problems that we'll have will dwarf what we have in God Valley, because Blackbeard has the Darkness Devil Fruit, so we can counter the Admirals with his Devil Fruit. He also has Whitebeard's Devil Fruit, which is the most destructive Devil Fruit we have in the world outside of Akainus. He has the power and influence already, and he's a Yonko. And now he's on the move too? Shanks probably has to intercept him, and he probably thinks he can't beat him now. We don't know that yet, but we know Shanks and Blackbeard will have a confrontation in the future. So when people say Blackbeard isn't the pirate they're talking about, because they already know about Blackbeard from the Paramount War and the Payback War and all the things that he's accomplished up to this point, maybe there's just a missing piece of information that nobody else knows besides Shanks, and Shanks would be the only person that would know, because if he's connected to the Gorosei and he's connected to the Celestial Dragons, and he sensed the presence of Zebek within Blackbeard, and Oda has foreshadowed the connection between Blackbeard and Zebek in the most blatant way we've ever seen. Zebek, Blackbeard, Shanks, that is it. That's the key. We're gonna find out more about Zebek. He's either tied to Blackbeard or Shanks, or both of them. And that's probably the topic of the conversation, because I can't think of any other pirate on this earth that would warrant Shanks going to the Gorosei and warning them, because again, the Gorosei care about the balance of the world. Shanks knows Luffy. Luffy doesn't care about the balance of the world at all. Shanks knows Luffy. So Shanks doesn't have to worry about Luffy. Shanks is all about balance, and so will the Gorosei. Who is somebody that would shake the fabric of the world today with pure chaos? I don't know, maybe the guy who freed all the prisoners from Impel Down. Maybe the guy who appeared in Marineford, tried to destroy Marineford in the most heightened moment we've had in the story up to this point. To me, it has to be Blackbeard. And if it's Blackbeard, it has to be something else that would warrant Shanks warning the Gorosei. And I think it's the fact that Zebek's consciousness resides within Blackbeard. Blackbeard has been getting instructions from Zebek this entire time. Think about this. Why did Blackbeard beg to be on Whitebeard's ship? Did Blackbeard know who Whitebeard was? He could have. But what if he was led there? Blackbeard has always been cunning. Blackbeard has been hiding his intention for 20 years. You don't think it was preconceived for Blackbeard to show up there and beg to be on Whitebeard's ship in order to find the Devil Fruit that he just so happened to read in this Devil Fruit book? I wonder where he figured out about the Darkness Fruit. I wonder why he knew the Darkness Fruit was the fruit he should have gotten. What if Zebek's old fruit was the Darkness Fruit? Do you ever wonder how Zebek could be so powerful to subjugate allies like Shiki, a Devil Fruit user, Whitebeard, a Devil Fruit user, Big Mom, a Devil Fruit user, and an apprentice Kaido? What if the devil fruits were useless before him, on top of the fact that he was a hockey master? And the only way to defeat someone like Zebek would be someone who is a hockey master who doesn't have the weakness of a devil fruit. I don't know, maybe Garp? Maybe Roger, who's not confirmed to have a devil fruit? There's a lot of missing pieces here. There's a lots of threads here, but if you try and put everything together, if you put your crazy one-piece tinfoil hat on, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Food for thought. And I'll leave it at that. So, that is my theory. That is what I've been thinking. I've been thinking about that ever since I learned that Blackbeard's ship was named the Saber of Zebek. That's what came to my mind. And you want to know why Whitebeard never felt the presence of Zebek? Because the whole plan for Blackbeard was to stay undercover on the Whitebeard ship. He was hiding his presence. That's what Shanks said. He was hiding under Whitebeard's guise, so he'd never reveal himself. But with Shanks, when he has to deal with Shanks, someone who's absurdly strong and not tied to Whitebeard, the enemy of Whitebeard, I'm saying, he never said anything about the Dark fruit. What are you talking about? My point is that he didn't want Whitebeard to find out about it. How would Big Mom Kaido play into Blackbeard Rock's theory? Like, if Rock's reveal, you think Kaido and Big Mom will do something to connect with Zebek and Blackbeard? I don't think so. I think Shanks is the key. Wouldn't Kaido and Big Mom pick up on this like Shanks did? Have we seen Blackbeard interact with Big Mom or Kaido? Have we seen that? Because we're just bringing up things that have never happened. Whitebeard was known for letting his guard down. Because who's going to kill Blackbeard? Who's going to stop Blackbeard? Anybody going to check him? Blackbeard scarred Shanks in between Roger's execution, Shanks meeting. Exactly. Shanks was a pirate on his own. He wasn't with Roger then. Shanks was never going to run into him again. Exactly. We need to know the relationship between Zebek and Blackbeard. Do you think Dragon could beat Joy Boy? It's a possibility, but I don't think so. Again, but Saf, why was Blackbeard there in the first place? We know how cunning he is. Why was he there? Blackbeard is an opportunist. Blackbeard is always in the right place at the right time. Why? Why can't Blackbeard sleep? Does anyone have a better explanation? Do you think Whitebeard was Rock's right hand when they went against Garp? I don't think Rock's had a right hand. I think Rock's just ruled with an iron fist. I think he just bodied everybody. Everything Blackbeard does is calculated. He probably thought, there's no way I can scar Shanks unless I scare him. How do you scare him? Reveal a little bit of that consciousness. That's something outside of Shanks' mind. Whoa, 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 what was that? What was that? And he scarred him. He's nocturnal. He just doesn't sleep. Blackbeard is edge. I'm screaming. I would think that Whitebeard would be the first person to notice similarities between Blackbeard and Rocks. Whitebeard is the man who didn't even go to Wano to save Odin. Also, Whitebeard only cared about his family. He didn't really care about Rocks or anything. Why would Whitebeard care that Blackbeard reminds him of Rocks? Why? Again, Blackbeard was hiding in plain sight. He was acting like a family member. He didn't behave like Zebek on the crew, on the ship. He behaved like Zebek once he left, where Whitebeard couldn't watch what he was doing. Teach made all his moves apparent in Marineford when he killed Whitebeard. I'm telling you. I'm telling y'all. Whitebeard was afraid of Kaido? Could have been. Could have been. Thank God I at least got that theory out, because I mean, listen. At this point, we're just gonna have to, wow. I'm gonna have to talk to my editor about this one. I don't know how we're gonna chop this stream up, but this is a very interesting stream. This is a very interesting. Teach put on a good ruse. Teach is the master of opportunism and plans. The master. He's the most cunning pirate we know in the story. You don't want if Blackbeard pulls up to Wano and meets Big Mom Kaido and they send Sebek and Blackbeard, do you really think they will join up with Blackbeard? I think Blackbeard would. This is aggressive. Blackbeard might be able to kill him. I'm just saying. Blackbeard might be able to kill him. I don't know, because I think Kaido's already taking some damage. But guys, listen. Oh my goodness. Listen, I'm telling you. Don't sleep on Blackbeard, bro. Don't sleep on him, please. Blackbeard is going to be the biggest thing we have in this story to date. I'm telling you. Shiryu even said, I've been waiting for... Exactly, Dom. Exactly. Do you see it? All the people, the pirates within Zebek's crew, there were rowdy alpha males and alpha women. But they all were under Zebek. Why? Power. But if it's power, you just run away. They could have lost in the Davy back fight. That's another thing. But there's something about them. They're like, this guy's different. Why honor a Davy back fight? You think Big Mom would honor a Davy back fight? They couldn't, because they couldn't go against him. They couldn't beat him. Charisma. The first and greatest rival of Roger was not Whitebeard. It was Rox D. Zebek. And it took Roger and Garp just to beat this man. And it's not just Roger and Garp. This is prime Garp and Roger. Prime. Kaido and Big Mom weren't that strong yet. They weren't Yonko level in God Valley. Whitebeard maybe. But Zebek, he might have been above Yonko level. He might have been Zebek level. We just create a new power scale. Zebek level. He's just that guy. Zebek's that guy. Yeah, Zebek's that guy. Zebek, he's that guy. He's that guy. He's that guy, pal. He's that guy. Zebek needed Garp and Roger. Big Mom was pretty strong. Big Mom was strong. But remember, Garp said they're much stronger than they were now. Garp specifically mentioned it. You might as well just say Pirate King level. I understand that. Maybe the power that Mihawk said Luffy had, Zebek had it. I agree. But he turned criminals into allies. Luffy turned criminals into allies, actually. And again, Beehive Island. You see the swagger that Blackbeard had in Beehive Island? At this point, Blackbeard is like a splitting image of Zebek at this point. All the behavior that Blackbeard is exhibiting. You don't think Zebek had the same? Chaotic, vibing, full of life, dreams, all of that. If you want to know how Zebek was in the past, you could probably look at Blackbeard, if we're being honest. When is this video dropping? I might drop it Thursday. We'll see. I might try and drop it Thursday. If not, Saturday. It'll be this week for sure, guys. It'll be this week for sure. It'll be this week for sure. I think you mean they are much stronger now than back then. That's what I do mean. But I think Garp said I wouldn't be able to deal with them now. I think, didn't Garp mention that he wouldn't be able to deal with them now as they're much stronger than they were then? Also, Garp got weaker too on top of that. Where did Blackbeard go? What's your guess? Alabasta, Wano, or... You know what's funny? This might be wild. But what if Blackbeard goes back to God Valley? What if the next arc isn't Elbaf? Or what if it's Blackbeard going to God Valley and Shanks meeting him at what we now know is God Valley? And then I think Matt had a theory that said Wano or Onigashima is God Valley. And then Blackbeard shows up at Wano. Because remember, Onigashima's not Wano. Onigashima's not Wano. And God Valley vanished. Off the face of the map. We don't know where God Valley is. God Valley could be anywhere. So if Shanks, Blackbeard pull up to Onigashima, we get Kaido's backstory. You find out that God Valley is actually Onigashima? Son. I'm not saying this happened, but do you know how insane that would be? True, God Valley has different geography. It does. It does. Very interesting. Kaido can move islands. Wow. That's also a very good point. What if Zebek existing within Blackbeard would qualify him for someone Roger is waiting for, and Whitebeard only thought Teach wasn't qualified, but Zebek is? Teach did seem a little bipolar as well. Could be, because we don't know, why did Kaido come to Wano? How do we know Kaido didn't bring Onigashima to Wano? Why does Yamato know about the clouds that dragons can create to move islands? I wonder how Kaido entered Wano. I wonder. Onigashima got pulled to Wano by Oras the Giants? Possibly, yes. Possibly. Because remember, we still need to discuss the Ancient Giants as well. There's still Ancient Giants rhetoric that we need to deal with. Another theory video? I'm not sure yet. This has been a 2-hour-long stream. My plans got completely derailed. We started off with Law backstories. We had a rant about Fisher Tiger. Then we had a rant about Jaya. And I got emotional, and it was fantastic. And this is the best stream I've ever had. Besides my birthday stream, I was like a drunken mess, and we was just spitting about life. It's my favorite One Piece stream I've ever had. Ever. Because it was real. Everything was real. Will I leave this up? Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you weren't here for this stream, if you're not part of the people in the chat today and you missed out, I'd hate to be you. I really would be. Because we went back and forth. It was us. This stream was us, guys. I hope you know that. That's me. It was me and you today. We was talking about One Piece. It wasn't me. The chat and me talked about One Piece today. That's what that was. We were vibing off each other. That's how it's supposed to be. That's what One Piece does to people. That's how it works. And I have no problem going off script to talk to my chat. No problem. Because at the end of the day, this is for y'all. One Piece is nothing without the community. I hope you understand that. Which is why One Piece is better than every manga ever. Because the community is a part of One Piece. I don't know if y'all know that. Black Clover, Naruto, Berserk, Vagabond, they don't have what we have. They don't have it. And they wish they did. And they know it. They know it. Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, you don't have what we have. You don't have it. That's not a knock on you. But I believe this is special. This is special. What we have here is special. Shout out to the 5 gifted subs from El Baffy. Shout out to Hades of the Underworld. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. My birthday, my birthday was like 2 months ago, but thanks, Saf. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Welcome to the family, everybody. All the people. Sorry the alerts are not here, but it's better if we kind of just have it pure without all the noise. Shout out to Sticky as well for the gifted sub. Oh, that was a while ago. All right, I'm looking at 3 days old notifications. Okay. But yes, this is why we do what we do. When One Piece ends, it will not die. But at this point, I don't even want to think about One Piece ending because I get tears in my eyes thinking about One Piece ending. I get tears in my eyes thinking about it. I appreciate you, Dom. I appreciate you, man. So at this point, I guess the content of my channel will be a little different this week, since a lot of this will be a lot of raw. This will be raw JD. You'll probably we'll just the next round of videos is gonna be more of the raw JD instead of the corporate YouTube JD. So we'll just do it. I'm fine going off script as long as you guys get content. You know, I'm fine with it. So what I'm gonna do is let's forget about the law. Let's forget about the law topic, because at that point, you know, I'd had that outlined and I wanted to talk about things, but you know, there's just something that's great about talking about One Piece from a raw perspective where you don't really have to think, it just comes out. And I'd rather give you guys those videos on YouTube and give them to my subscribers. He said raw. Raw JD, stop it. Raw D Legend. See, this is why I can't tell y'all nothing, because you take what I say and then you meme it and then you ruin everything. But I appreciate y'all at the same time. He said, look, pause. He said, this nigga sus. I hate y'all. And this Suns game looks fire, so I'm gonna have to catch the Suns game. But it's been great spending 2 hours with you guys. So I would say if I can somehow, I'll tell you this. I'll have my editor work on the Blackbeard video first, and I'll drop that for you guys, because my boy check him out, Mangavation. Check him out on YouTube. My boy made me a clean-ass thumbnail, so you're going to see the clean-ass thumbnail he made. No condom, Jay. You niggas are degenerates. Degenerates in the chat. Degenerates. So, check them out. After the bubble they evolved, they did. Clippers in 6. You should stream on Discord. I might. It was Rick. Of course it's Rick. Of course. It's never not Rick. It's never not him. He said that's not on us, bro. No, it is on you, Black Ghost. It is. Ridiculous. I hate y'all. I really do. But I love y'all at the same time. All right, I gotta go, because if I don't leave now, y'all gonna keep me here. And I'm not doing it. I want to watch this basketball game. But God bless. Stay tuned for the YouTube video. Of course, when you see the YouTube video, share it with your friends. Do whatever you want. Support your boy as you always do. God bless you. Love you all. And I'm out.